Imagine waking up one morning, walking to the beach, and the ocean is gone. No waves, no water, no sound. Just an endless cracked, empty seafloor stretching as far as the eye can see. If the entire ocean just vanished, the world wouldn't just be different. It would be unrecognizable. And the worst part? It wouldn't take years or months to feel the impact. It would start immediately. The very first thing you'd notice? The silence. No crashing waves, no seabirds, no boats rocking in the water. Just an eerie, suffocating stillness. Then boom! You hear a deep rumbling sound beneath your feet. Why? Because the ocean weighs 1.4 quintillion tons. That's 1 quintillion 400 quadrillion metric tons of water that used to push down on the Earth's crust. Now that it's gone, the ground starts shifting. The continents, suddenly relieved of this immense weight, start springing upward in a process called isostatic rebound. Normally, this happens slowly, like how parts of Scandinavia are still rising after the last ice age. But in this case, it happens fast. The seafloor itself, it starts cracking and breaking apart, releasing massive amounts of gases that were trapped under the ocean's weight. Oh, and if you're standing anywhere near a former coastline run, because those gases include methane, which is highly flammable, any spark could set off massive firestorms along the coasts. But that's just the start. The temperature skyrockets. The oceans act as the planet's air conditioner, absorbing heat during the day and releasing it at night. Without them, there's nothing regulating the temperature. Coastal cities like Los Angeles, Tokyo, and Sydney suddenly feel like deserts, while places that were already hot like the Sahara, they become literal hellscapes. And let's talk about the wind. Without the oceans, there are no more sea breezes. Instead, we get violent, unpredictable winds racing across the empty ocean basins. Dust storms start to form, carrying billions of tons of fine sand and salt into the atmosphere. Oh, and if you're wondering about the animals, yeah, things get bad fast. All marine life? Gone. Coral reefs? Dead within hours. Coastal ecosystems? Instant collapse. Even animals that live on land start dying. Why? Because 70% of the oxygen we breathe comes from the ocean, from tiny organisms called phytoplankton. And guess what? Without the ocean, they all die. At this point, human civilization is in full-blown chaos. Every major port city, New York, London, Hong Kong, is abandoned. These cities were built around ocean trade. Without ships, the global economy collapses overnight. And remember those violent winds we talked about? They've now turned into superstorms. Hurricanes no longer form over the ocean, but that doesn't mean we're safe. Instead, we get massive sandstorms, fueled by the endless miles of exposed seabed. The sky turns permanently dusty, blocking out the sun in some places while making other places unbearably hot. And then, there's the biggest disaster of all, the freshwater crisis. See, the water cycle depends on evaporation from the ocean. Without it, it stops raining in most places. Rivers dry up, crops fail. Countries that rely on rainfall like India, China, and most of South America collapse within weeks. Even glaciers, which seem like they'd be a backup water source, start melting even faster because there's no ocean to regulate global temperatures. The polar ice caps? Gone in record time. And once they melt, sea levels don't rise because there's no ocean left. Instead, that water adds to the atmospheric moisture, creating deadly humidity waves in some regions while droughts worsen in others. At this point, the Earth is unrecognizable. The former ocean floor is now a vast, endless desert. The once great coastal cities are buried under sand. The sky is thick with dust, and the heat is unbearable. And here's the worst part. With no ocean to absorb the sun's energy, all that heat has to go somewhere. So where does it go? It gets trapped in the atmosphere. The planet starts heating up even faster than before. Carbon dioxide levels spike because there's no ocean to absorb it. Temperatures climb by tens of degrees in a matter of decades. And then, the final disaster hits. The Amazon rainforest, one of the last major sources of oxygen, collapses due to wildfires and droughts. Now, not only is the air thicker with dust, but it's also running out of oxygen. If you've survived this long, congratulations. But unless humans find a way to artificially produce oxygen, it's game over. Within a few centuries, the planet becomes a lifeless rock. The once blue Earth, now brown, dry, and dead, just like Mars. And the craziest part? Mars used to have oceans too, and they're gone, just like ours would be. So, what do you think? Could humanity survive without the ocean? Or would we all be doomed? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, smash that like button. Subscribe for more insane science, and I'll see you in the next one.